You are listening to StoryMakers, the podcast for women who are ready to step into their true identity, live with meaningful purpose, find belonging and connection, grow in leadership, and walk boldly in faith. Here you can uncover the story that you were created to live because you were made for such a time as this. This is the third part of my mini-series about depletion and renewal, and today we're talking about being refilled. So after the awareness of the depletion, the emptiness you feel, and permission to be in process, we have this new question. What will actually fill me back up again? Not what will distract me from this hard thing, not what can help me feel numb to what I'm dealing with, but what truly renews me from the inside out. The Bible tells us to have our lamps full, like put oil in our lamps and be prepared, be ready for the hour. Well, when we don't put oil in the lamp, there's no light. When we don't put gas in the car, there's no movement, right? So we have to consider what's the oil, what's the gas, what is the substance of life that will help us to be filled up so we can overflow. And renewal is more than just being rested, it's actually being reconnected. It happens when you stop living off the fumes. You've got to get off the highway and plug into your source, right? So you can't refill a cup that is tipped upside down, right? You have to turn the cup right side up and put it under something that is flowing in order for it to get filled. You have to position it. So it doesn't mean fixing a schedule. It doesn't necessarily mean doing something that looks like self-care and take a long bath and get a pedicure. Self-care without soul care doesn't last. It's not helpful. Renewal actually starts happening like refuel, renewal and refuel. When you reconnect with the one who's the living water. So it's getting filled back up, but it's positioning yourself for the cup to reconnect with the water being poured into it. Jesus says that anybody who's thirsty can come to him and drink. Whoever believes in him, rivers of living water will flow from within them. So that's the kind of renewal he offers that we have the ability to go get. It's not like a one-time refill. Where is that? Starbucks, you can order a cup of coffee and get, if you order it with your gold card on your app or something like this, you get a refill for free. Only one. Doesn't mean you get endless refills. I think you can go to Perkins or Denny's or IHOP or something and maybe get bottomless coffee. But if you have no cup and you don't order the pot of coffee, it doesn't matter. There's no bottomless coffee. You didn't order it. You didn't position your cup and say, that is what I want. It's what I need. I will take this, please. So it's a continual flow that Jesus offers, but we have to continually position our cup to be under the flow so we can catch it. And then there's an overflow because it just keeps getting filled up if we keep ourselves in the right position. So I think of it like a chocolate fountain. So I don't have this anymore. I have been healed and delivered. Probably my husband would say, I used to have this thing where I would order cheap, small appliances. They do probably still live in the attic right now. I was going to take care of that this fall, but instead decided to take care of mold in the basement instead of cleaning out the attic. And I am not going to say that I'm sad for not being in the attic. However, there's a lot of little small appliances up there that you can find for $25 on Amazon that are pretty cool. And what I would do is, because I had a bunch of kids with birthdays in the summer, I I would buy one new small appliance each summer. So each birthday party we did had like a fun uh, chocolate fountain. There's actually like this like a, what do you call it, cotton candy maker, and it's really small. It just sits on your counter, and you put like a Jolly Rancher in the middle, and it comes with like the paper sticks and like the cones, and you just like make your own. And so it was fun. The kids could do that. Then we made like a one of those small appliance slushy machines, so that people, like the kids, could all have snow cones. I There were more things. I can't remember them all. We had a crepe maker. I'm just like, I didn't have enough room for all of these things on my counter, but they just did live because I loved to throw a good party, so it was fun. Anyway, back to the chocolate fountain. This was my point. I think of it like the top layer is like the source of all the goodness, God Himself. The middle shelf of the fountain is me. But the top fountain, like the top, I have to be positioned underneath the top so that it can flow down and fill me up. And then that bottom layer is like everybody I am called to serve and love. And so I am overflowing to that next shelf on the chocolate fountain, right? So do you see what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm laying down? My only job is to stay connected to the flow above me so I can pour out to the what's below me, looking to be receiving what I pour out. If I disconnect from the top, I run dry. And if I continue to try to pump myself full from below, I burn out. Renewal is about positioning, not about performing. It's about staying under that fountain source long enough to get refilled again. So spiritually, it's quiet time with no agenda for me. No, like, I got to go get this. I got to figure that out. I need to think about this. I need to pray about that. I need to take all my worries, blah, blah, blah. For me, it's like sitting in silence, letting scripture wash over me, speak to my heart again, worship without rushing through it. But actually, and I usually need to be like alone in a quiet, like safe place. Sometimes that looks like in my car where the music can be real loud and in a parking lot where nobody can watch me. There's emotional renewal, which I think looks like documenting, verbalizing what you need to say and be honest about. It might look for you like a journal, diary type of thing. It might be a document in Google. It might be a note in your voice recorder app on your phone. It means laughing really hard, crying really hard, allowing all of the emotions to flow out instead of suppressing them, instead of bottling them up. They need to go through in order to come out and be complete. For me, I have a lot of anger that builds up in my body. It's just like what happens naturally. It goes from my soul straight to my brain through my body. And I need to go hit something. So I have a punching bag. And I'm looking at a local kickboxing class because I think a bunch of other women who feel the same thing with me could be my people. I'm going to go find them. And then there's physical renewal. It doesn't matter what that looks like for you. If it needs a kickboxing class or it looks like taking a long walk, drinking more water, getting better sleep, stretching, eating whole foods, having a dessert that you don't normally allow yourself to have. Like, what do you need physically to be renewed? Your body, soul, and spirit are all on the same team, right? They don't have to be fighting each other. I think there's also a measure of creativity that needs renewal. And especially for me, I had to find something that like brings joy and re-engages other parts of my soul and my brain. So over this last weekend, all of my art stuff, has been packed up, and I had to go. I just got desperate. I'm like, I need to get creative. I need to unplug and be creative. And I went searching in the middle of the night through a bunch of tubs in the darkness with the flashlight on my phone, looking for some art supplies. And then I just started painting like whatever I could with whatever paints I found, whatever colors I had to work with. And then I spent the next 2 days going back to it and just adding and changing. And then in the end, it didn't look like anything like it started out. Like it doesn't matter. I'm not selling this at Tiffany's auction. I just needed to get something out of me. It was funny. One of my kids, her friend was over and she sits down in front of me. She goes, she doesn't really know me very well, but it was very funny. She just sits down, just me and her in the kitchen at the table. I'm painting. And she says, real innocently, I think innocently anyway, I don't know. She says, do you do this because you're lonely? I just looked at her like, wow. Am I paying you for this session? Funny. And I said, no, I just need to like use another part of my brain. But I'm just gonna say, like, the girl had me questioning myself. Am I? Is that why I started painting? So funny. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I just think we're all made to create. We are made in the image of our Father. And by the way, our Father is a creator. So I also baked. I haven't had gluten-free apple. I haven't had apple fritters in like 14 years because I lived in Hawaii and nobody made apple fritters. And then after that, I went gluten-free. Can't speak. Gluten-free. And so I've been gluten-free for 10 years. That's a whole different like podcast series. And I haven't found an apple fritter that's gluten-free anywhere. So it's been like 14 years since I had an apple fritter. So I actually baked apple fritters. I straight up fried them. I was like, I need this right now in the name of Jesus. So I did it. What's it look like for you? Painting, gardening, writing, building, dreaming of anything. Like you're made to create. So go find something to create. It fills you up in a really beautiful way. And I think renewal also means receiving from other people, finding community or friends who listen, a sermon that speaks to your heart, a counselor who helps you get clarity, like something. Go find other people, listen to podcasts, find a YouTube channel, read a book. Psalm 23 talks about lying down in green pastures. He leads us beside quiet waters and restores our soul. And I just think this is what we need. He makes us lie down in green pastures and he leads us beside quiet waters. So renewal isn't forced. We can receive what he makes possible and leads us into. We don't have to manufacture our own soul's restoration. We can just let him make a way and lead us in it. So if you've been in survival mode, renewal is probably going to feel really awkward. It's like when we were talking about giving yourself permission to be in process and becoming silent enough, like letting there be enough silence for you to become aware of what's happening, the emptiness. It's all awkward at first. And you might want to jump back to being productive way too soon. And I encourage you to resist the urge to do that. Give yourself some time to marinate in a Ziploc of renewal oil. This is my own. Yes, maybe it's chocolate oil. I don't know. Yes, go marinate in the renewal fountain, the chocolate fountain, the river of pleasures, God's pleasures, right? Yeah, let that happen. Let it sink in deep enough to change the way that you're living from the inside, not just like the way that you feel and what you do, but like how you're living from the inside out. This is where God's going to remind you, you're not the source. You're not the top of the fountain. You're a vessel he pours into and flows through to pour out of. He is our fountain of living water. Those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. And renewal happens in this place. It happens when we let God fill the places back up that we've been trying to sustain on our own and do in our own strength. Peace comes back to us. Our creativity wakes back up. Joy slips back in through the door. So take some time this week to refill and renew on purpose. Be really intentional about it. Go where you feel the presence of the Lord so clearly. Stay there longer than you think you should. Triple the time. If you like, I only have 10 minutes, do it for half an hour. I only have an hour, do it for 3. Don't rush back. The noise will be there when you go back. Let him pour into you until you overflow. There are some marshmallows and strawberries waiting to get coated in that chocolate. And you need to get filled up so that you have something to pour out. It is possible. This is not forever, but it's going to take a while. And I'm here for it. So in the next episode, we're going to talk about creating rhythms so that we don't immediately get depleted after, like, going through all of this. So talk to you there. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe to the show so you don't miss any new episodes. And to learn more about me, my work, and how we can connect, visit sterlingandstonementoring.com or check the show notes. And until next time, remember, all things are possible and figure outable.